don't underestimate Skenes. That guy has been dominating like nobody's business. When you look at Stevens, he's beating some of Steven Strasburg's numbers from 2009. And Steven Strasburg was the most dominant college pitcher I've ever seen. But he was doing it in a smaller conference. He was facing Utah and San Diego State and places like that, right? Paul Skenes is facing Alabama and Georgia and Vanderbilt and big time college programs, and he is shoving on all those teams. If the Tigers end up going that route, I mean, I would rather they get a position player too. But boy, this could be landing your Garrett Cole to stick in front of your rotation for the next decade.
Yeah, and that's a good point because the Tigers don't really have that right now. We thought Mize could be that. Maybe you thought Skubal could be that, and you hope Jackson Jobe could be that. But, we don't know. And Paul Skenes, if he has that type of potential, the Tigers, they want someone they could build a rotation around like they had Verlander for all those years. He could be that guy. But of an outfield, I'm just trying to think of like what the Tigers could build around their identity for the future. And I'm thinking of an outfield with Riley Green and a Dylan Cruz, Riley Green and a Wyatt Langford. And then you could throw in a Justin Henry Malloy, a Parker Meadows, or Roberto Campos, Akil Baddoo. I think that could be a really, really exciting outfield for the future and kind of be not the Tigers' identity, but that outfield could really be the driving force behind this offense and hopefully lead to some really exciting baseball, behind those really young, talented outfielders.
Well, what I think is when you just look at who's picking ahead of the Tigers, I believe Pittsburgh is a wild card, and they've been a wild card in the past. We don't know what they're going to do. They've tried to save money and then spread it around later in the draft in other years. They just did it a couple years ago. Most people think if Paul Skenes is going early, it'll be to Washington at 2 because Washington evidently, and if you look at their prospect list, tons of outfielders already in their system. So some people are saying, hey, we don't really need to add another outfielder to the mix. Let's get that big time pitcher. So if Skenes goes there, then Detroit will have a choice of at least one of the college outfielders and then the 2 high school dudes.